Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Navigating the Jungle of Business. Do you want to clone your best client to earn more without working harder? If so, you are listening to the right podcast. With me today, navigating us through your customer's mind, is my guest, Bruce Fetra, who is also known as the Client Whisperer. I'm so excited to have you here today, Bruce.
It's great to be here, and it's great to have a conversation like this.
Yes. So, Bruce, I know that seeing business from the customer's perspective is transforming and can be very, very profitable too. So I can't wait to hear what you're going to share with our BBS students. So, Bruce, why are you called the Client Whisperer?
So it actually goes back to a client of mine who, after doing work together, he said it was so powerful for him and his firm to be able to see their business through the eyes of their clients that he started calling me the Client Whisperer. And I'm kind of embarrassed in terms of how long it took me to embrace that, because I kind of resisted it. And it turns out people love it, and it really resonates with people. So it's totally client driven for me.
You know what? We really trust our dog whisperers, right? So it kind of invites trust right from the beginning. I love that term.
Well, that's really the point. The point is that you can trust your clients, because if you see your business from their eyes, it takes the mystery out. You're not trying to figure out what they're thinking. You know what they're thinking.
So what does it mean to think like your best clients?
So think about it this way. If you can... In business, we're always trying to anticipate or sometimes guess if we don't know better, or research what do clients care about. If you actually can see your business through their eyes, not think about them, but actually see your business through their eyes, the world looks really, really different. And the best part about that is it's not so complicated. Instead of trying to figure out what it is that's important, you start to see what's important. And what you find is that there's a lot of different issues. If you're a CEO of a business, you've got a lot of things that are important. If I'm trying to sell you some sort of services, I think about only that slice of your business. If I start thinking like you do, now all of a sudden I realize there's a bigger pond there. And how do I fit into that bigger pond for your business? That's good for business. It's good for the customer. It's good everywhere.
So what does the best client look like for a business?
Well, it depends on the client, because there is no such thing as a universal best client in an industry. It's very, very company specific. And think about it from this standpoint. The best clients are, I always say, it's the ones that you would clone if you could. And if you think about who you would clone, a lot of that is about fit. So if you're selling commodities, maybe it doesn't make any difference, but most of us aren't selling commodities. So it's not who you can help, but where is there that great fit that creates the magic, the extra value? Now, the really cool part is that the customers that are not your best clients or not your best customers, they're someone else's best customers. Because there's a different fit.
So obviously there's lots of benefits of cloning your best clients. So share some of the benefits.
So I'll start with, just from a standpoint of those best clients or best customers, depending on your business, they're the ones that really appreciate the value that you're bringing. They're the ones that have that magical relationship. When people talk about chemistry or magic or whatnot, there is something there about how it gets the how part of it. That's what creates loyalty. That's what creates trust. It's not the actions we do. It's how we do it and how it impacts the other person. When you start to think about who are the clients that you would clone, they're the ones that are fun to work with. They're the ones that are more profitable. They're the ones that don't create headaches. And then the real question becomes, okay, why do those clients choose you? That's the $64 million question. But there's something real that happens with those clients. The other flip side of best clients is you're always told to fire your bad clients. Well, your bottom clients, I won't call them bad, the poor fit clients, well, they're someone else's best clients. If you can understand that, you can actually upgrade them to someone, get them off your books, but also help them along, which makes you feel like a hero. They love you, and the other company loves you, and the world is, the market environment is a better place.
You know,
You're
it's like
now
it's like you have to make space in your closet. You know, if you got a closet full of clothes that have been there for 20 years, you can't even fit one new thing in. So you have to remove all that stuff to make space. And if you allow yourself to get too many of those poor fit clients, where's the time to deal with the ones you really want to clone? Right?
that's what creates a grind or struggle for so many businesses, that this is just the way the business is. It works for any sort of business, but I work with a lot of professionals where they talk about the grind and it's just, that's the way the life is. Well, no, it doesn't need to be that way. You can enjoy your work by working with clients that you enjoy. The extension of that is that clients that are a good fit, you get the right employees and the firm is easier to manage.
Sure.
You have focus, and now you know what you're looking for. You think, wow, I've narrowed it down. It's a smaller segment. It's like, no, but you know exactly what it looks like, where they are, and what causes them to say yes. That makes it easier to reach out and engage with those companies.
So you'd think everyone would do this. Why doesn't everybody do this?
Well, for one thing, they think it's too simple. In some sense, it's counterintuitive from that standpoint, is that less is actually more. So another area is focus. When a CEO gets a new thing to focus on, what do? They add to their list, which isn't really focus. That's actually being less focused. But if you are doing something that involves revenue, maybe sort of sometime in the past might have generated some revenue, people are really, really reluctant to give it up. And the only way they'll give it up is if they're super, super confident that the new thing will actually be that much better. And that's where the process that I go through, which is reverse engineering, not guessing what makes your clients come here, but to go actually talk to those best clients. Now we know what it is, and you can be super confident. So now you can stop doing some of the things that you're doing and be able to put more emphasis on the things that do work. That drives results.
So you actually do it for people? You go and talk to their clients and find out exactly where the magic is?
Yeah, and the reason that works is yes, you could go talk to your own clients. I always encourage people, talk to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that when you talk to the clients, your best clients, the ones that like you the most, that work with you the best, they want to please you.
Right.
And so I call this mirroring, is that they will then answer if you say, hey, Fromi, why do you work with me? You love working with me. It's been valuable. You will try to please me by repeating back, what my marketing message is. So right. I think, wow, I got that nailed, when in fact, I've really learned nothing. So as a third party, I can do that. Now, the other piece is the way I do it is really different than the classic client interview, which is usually someone talks to the client and they ask, how do you fit into the provider's business? Mm-hmm. That's pretty boring. Nobody wants to have that conversation, but that's almost ubiquitous. My conversations are 180 degrees from that. It's all about, how does my client, the provider, fit into your business, Mr. CEO? That's the conversation the CEO wants to have, because it's all about them. Now we get to the nuance, which is, if it were so obvious, people would be doing it. But the nuance of, oh man, there's this thing that Fromi does that I never really thought about. But if she stopped doing it, it would be a totally different relationship. That's your secret sauce. It's something you actually do. The client knows there's something special. You know there's something special, but neither of you can articulate it. That's how I get at it.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad that I asked that question. So how do people get started? How do our students get started?
Well, the first step in trying to clone your best clients is to identify who your best clients are.
Right.
And I'll just give you a quick story. Worked with it was actually a law firm, but it could be any kind of business. They hired a consultant to help them with processes. So they were doing more than just looking at clients. but they went through the entire firm's book of business one by one to look at each client. Are they profitable? Where do they fit? What are their ratios? All those sorts of things. And spent a lot of time, a lot of money on that. And then when I was talking to them some months later, I asked just one question. I said, who would you clone of your clients? Who would you clone if you could? And he sat for a second thinking that's a stupid question. He goes, oh my God. He goes, we spent an entire day trying to get at that. And you had a single question.
I love that.
Because in your gut, you know who your good clients are, the ones that create profit, not headaches. Maybe you don't know who's third and who's fourth on the list, but it doesn't matter. So the first question is, who would you clone if you could? That gets at all the nuance. If you have multiple partners or leadership, usually there's a lot of overlap. Whereas if you're trying to do it just purely on the math, you will have conflicting assumptions, but the math comes out to it gets the same answer. So that's the first question. The second question is, how do you improve that client's business?
Oh,
Not what you do for them. What can they do because of what you do? And so that causes you to step back. It causes you to see yourself in the big pond. You might be a big fish in a little pond, but you're a little fish in a big pond, but the CEO is seeing the whole big pond. Wouldn't you rather swim in the pond that he or she is thinking about?
Do you have an example of that?
So typically, companies think about, what does their product do? My widget does X. Well, let's use the famous drill example. Okay, let's use, people don't buy drills, they buy holes. That's not really true, because why do I need a hole? I need a hole because I need to put a pipe through the wall or run some wires or something. Why, if you start to think about, so if you go around trying to sell holes, well, that's better than trying to sell drills. But people aren't out there saying, oh man, I need a hole. They're thinking, I need to put something through this solid structure, this wall. Think that way. And now all of a sudden, you're able to put the whole in perspective. Maybe there's other alternatives. Maybe you have other products, or you can address that. Whereas the market for holes only can be filled by drills. But the market for getting a pipe through the wall might be filled different ways.
I love that. You just took it a whole level deeper. So that's really terrific. So
it makes it fun.
Yeah, it's fabulous. So do you have any final words of wisdom you want to share with our students?
Well, my usual final words of wisdom are what we just talked about, which is understand that not all clients are equal. Don't think about, well, just trying to drive volume, because that drives you to the grind.
Right.
Wouldn't you rather work with more profitable clients that want to work with you and see value in you? So they're not haggling about price. They're not haggling about, they're accepting what you can bring to their business because they see you as aligned. And the way to get there is to align your goals with their goals. And the way you do that is to ask that question that we just talked about. How do you improve their business?
Okay.
Now your goals are aligned with their goals. Now you have a completely different conversation. Your product or service may be equivalent to someone else's, but you're having a very different conversation, a different relationship with the CEO. And that's what drives business. That's what drives loyalty and relationships.
Yes. So Bruce, how does everyone get in contact with you?
Well, there's the usual ways on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can connect with me via my website, which is really easy. It's eastwoodstrategy.com, and easy to spell, easy to find. I'm around the social media and the web. I got phone numbers. You can even call me on the phone. Because it's not about how I want to get contacted. It's about how do people want to interact.
Yes, that's following your own message. I love that. So everyone, thank you so much, Bruce Fetra, for being here with us. I'm Dr. Fumi Rachel Barr, and this is Navigating the Jungle of Business. See you next time.